first balloon is a balloon that I'm sure almost all of you already do. It was one of the very first balloons that I learned. It's one of the very first balloons that most people learn. And that is a one balloon teddy bear. Now the teddy bear that I do has a little bit different proportions than the teddy bear that most of you do. And I need to give you a little bit of background on this teddy bear because it's not my original. Like I said, it was one of the first balloons that I learned. It was taught to me by a woman named Dawn Evans. And it was taught to her by somebody else, and I actually really have no idea who originated this style of teddy bear. But because his proportions are different, he kind of looks cuddly and fat, and I personally think much cuter than the standard teddy bear. So what you need to make this is you need a blue 260, inflated, leaving, I don't know, probably about a 4 or 5 inch tail. One thing that you're going to find with me, and at first it's probably going to be frustrating for some of you who are watching this video, I don't do sizes. I'm not going to tell you 3 inches here, 2 inches there, for a couple of reasons. One, I really don't think that size matters. It's proportions that matter. And everybody does their proportions a little bit different. Two, you know, if you have too much air in the balloon, let some out. If you don't have enough, put some in. It's not such a, it's not such a big deal. It takes a little bit of practice, but you get used to it. I usually measure using my fingers, and that's how I can keep my proportions similar. But I would be willing to bet you that most of the time I couldn't make the exact same thing twice with the exact same sizes, and that's okay. You don't always need to. I suppose if I really had to, I would find a way. But as long as it looks in scale with itself, then you're okay. All right, so we're going to start our teddy bear like any other teddy bear. We're going to take our balloon, and you want to soften your bubble before you twist it, because we're going to put another twist in it later. So you want to soften that first bubble and twist it off. And I took, a whole 4 fingers worth. And then you're going to go up, and again, I take now this time, I guess about another 4 fingers worth, trying to spread, because I kind of like big cheeks. And then I clip with my 2 fingers and grab a bubble. I do the same thing with the next one and one more bubble. Okay, now this is going to be basically a 6 bubble series. Remember that whenever you're doing a series of bubbles, that first bubble you need to hold it steady. So I'm holding it, I'm clipping it with my pinky and my palm to put pressure on it and hold it steady. Okay, now for the 6th bubble, I want to match the 2nd bubble, which is the teddy bear's cheek. And to do that, I'm simply going to line it up and twist it off. Now, there's a couple of things that I do differently than most of the teddy bears. My forehead bubble is much smaller than usual, and my cheek bubbles are much larger. Okay, so here's what we have so far. And usually, when I'm making this, they're trying to guess, and oh, it's a foot, it's a hand, and I just kind of don't say anything. So now, the reason that we left this bubble soft is we can even roll out the knot a little bit to get a little bit more room. We're going to put one more bubble in there. Okay, so you're going to twist that bubble off, and then you're going to put this right through. And then I kind of push down, I put pressure, holding the nose with my middle finger and pushing with my index finger down. With my other hand, I take it and I do the pinch twist for the ears. There's 1. And there's 2. And there we have the teddy bear face. Now, I want a really small bubble for the neck. I don't want a big neck at all. So it's really tiny. Holding that bubble, now I'm going to make 2 good-sized bubbles. Dog leg style. And I'm going to twist them off. So here's what we have now. Now what I want to do is I want to separate this into 2 separate loop twists. So I'm just going to push from the twist point towards the middle, like a flower, and twist my arms. Okay, there's our start. Again, what I'm doing right now probably isn't that different from the teddy bear you do. It's just a little bit different proportions. Here's where things are going to start to get different. Most people, when they do the teddy bear, they give him a pretty long torso. I don't. Same like his neck, I give him a very, very short torso. You see? It's just that one tiny little bubble. And I'm going to stretch my balloon just a little bit, make it, work a little bit harder for me now. Fold it, trying to match the size that we did the top arms. If we don't, it's okay, but if we can, it looks really nice. And remembering that we want to leave a little bubble for the tail. Twist it, fold it back over on itself, twist it again. There we have our little bubble for the tail, which we want to turn to the back just in case any of the parents are watching, they may get nervous. And again, you want to fold that twist into itself, kind of squish it down, and twist it. All right. And just kind of push everything back where it belongs. And here we have our teddy bear. Now, of course, the teddy bear is never complete without his heart, which as soon as I can find. Here we go. There we go. And usually, to figure out which side to put the teddy bear's heart, his head usually tends to naturally lean more towards one side than the other. So whichever side his head is leaning towards, I'll put the heart on the other side. Because that's kind of already the way that he's inclining. So you saw that he was leaning this way towards me, so I put the heart on the opposite side. Again, just straighten it up, and you have an absolutely adorable teddy bear with a heart that, to this day, after 8 years or whatever of doing balloons, is probably still my #1 balloon. In fact, I've done this one so many times that I can usually do this without even looking at my hands.